Well, good morning. It's Thanksgiving, and this morning I wanted just to wish you and your family a happy Thanksgiving. I know that I'm thankful, grateful for so many things in my life, for my relationship with Jesus Christ, especially first and foremost for my wife, for my children, for all of my family, and just for the way that God leads us and guides us and provides for everything that we need, for the love that He has for us. And this morning I'm reading from Psalm 139. And he says, "O Lord, thou hast searched me and known me." One of the things that I'm grateful for is the fact that God knows me and that God sees me. He says, "Thou knowest my down sitting and mine uprising. Thou understandest my thought afar off. Thou compassest my path and my lying down, and art acquainted with all my ways. For there's not a word in my tongue, but lo, O Lord, knowest it altogether. Thou hast beset me behind and before, and laid thine hand upon me. Such knowledge is too wonderful for me. It is high, I cannot attain unto it. Whither shall I go from thy spirit, or whither shall I flee from thy presence? If I ascend up into heaven, thou art there. If I make my bed in hell, behold, thou art there. If I take the wings of the morning and dwell in the uttermost parts of the sea, even there shall thy hand lead me, and thy right hand shall hold me. If I say, surely the darkness shall cover me, even the night shall be light about me. Yea, the darkness hideth not from thee, but the night shineth as the day, and the darkness and light are both alike to thee. For thou hast possessed my reins, thou hast covered me in my mother's womb. I will praise thee, for I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Marvelous are thy works, and that my soul knoweth right well. My substance was not hid from thee when I was made in secret and curiously wrought in the lowest parts of the earth." And he goes on. And the fact of this psalm is God is omniscient. He knows everything. And especially, He knows about me. And He knows about you. He knows when you sit down. He knows when you stand up. He knows when you go and what you think and what you do. Now, for some people, that might be terrifying to think that God actually knows your thoughts. But when you come to know Jesus, it becomes something that is comforting. Because of all of the people that are in this world, God knows you better than anybody else. Not only that, He made you. He says there that He had possessed His reins and He covered me in His mother's womb when He was curiously wrought together. Now, God created us. He made us from the very beginnings. He knows all about us. You know, in the book of Genesis, there's a story about Hagar and the fact that Sarai kicks her out of the house, and she takes her son, she goes out in the wilderness, and she just expects for the boy to die. And there God meets with her, and she calls him by the name El Roi, the God who sees me. She realized that even when nobody else, out in the middle of the desert, when nobody else was around to know where she was, that God saw her. And so as a result of that, as David writes this psalm about God and God being everywhere and God knowing everything, he goes on to say, "Search me, O God, and know my heart. Try me and know my thoughts." You see, we should be asking God to do this. It's foolish to try to hide from God. From the very beginning, Adam and Eve, when they sinned, they tried to hide from God. We still do exactly the same thing. We try to hide from God, but according to the psalm, that's impossible. There's nowhere that we could go to hide from God, and there's no thought that we could hide in the very depths of our mind that God doesn't already know. And so, what we should do is invite the searchlight of God's mind into ours. Search me and know my thoughts, and see if there be any wicked way in me. Pray and ask God, point these things out to me. And then he says, and lead me in the way everlasting. That's what we need. We need God's leadership. We need the Holy Spirit to bring us to realize the wickedness that is within us, to confess it to the Lord, to receive His forgiveness, and then to walk in the way that's everlasting. There is a way that seems right to a man, but the ends thereof are the ways of death. Trust in the Lord with all thine heart, and lean not unto thine own understanding. In all thy ways acknowledge Him. He shall direct thy paths. I'm grateful this morning that God knows everything. And I am hoping that you have a great, wonderful Thanksgiving. Lord bless you.